Today I'm making a video on whether these new oracles that were recently introduced into the banner summon system are worth summoning, and if they are worth summoning, which one in my opinion is the best from all of them. Of course, ultimately it depends on what sort of unit you are missing if you are going for them, but if you are just going for an oracle in general, I hope this will help you out a little bit. So briefly, I'm gonna go overview all three of their skills. So the basic attack for Juno is of course just a regular damage hit. Passing time, twist them to attack the enemies within the area 3 times, and each hit has a certain chance to remove a beneficial effect. Applies a resistible burn to the target for every beneficial effect removed. And the third skill is affects causality to recover the HP of nearby allies. Afterwards, remove all harmful effects on team members and additionally recovers the HP of nearby allies according to the number of harmful effects removed. The recovery amount is based off its max HP. The ultimate is pretty similar, so controls causality to recover the HP of nearby allies. Afterwards, removes all harmful effects on nearby allies and additionally recovers the HP of nearby allies according to the number of harmful effects removed. The cover is based on max HP, so the same thing, just a little higher scalings on the heal. And her passive, the team summoner gains 1 mana for every beneficial or harmful effect it removes. So for each beneficial effect, there's a 50% chance to get 1 mana, so she's talking about the second skill. And her other part of the passive is for every harmful effect removed, you get 1 mana, so for her third skill, or her ultimate, of course. And now jumping to the water one, so the basic attack is the same. Passing time, the skill is essentially the same as well, however, instead of irresistible burn, it applies irresistible frostbite. And her third skill beacons nearby allies to the world of dreams to recover their HP and remove a harmful effect. Applies sleep to the enemies within the area with a certain chance to, and applies an irresistible sleep to itself. The recovery amount is based on its max HP. And her ultimate is beacons nearby allies to the world of sweet dreams and recovers their HP to remove the 2 harmful effects. I believe, this one removes 1 harmful effect. Her ultimate removes 2. Applies sleep to enemies within the area with a certain chance and applies an irresistible sleep to itself. If the enemy is asleep, deals fixed damage based on the target's max HP. And the recovery amount is based off its max HP as well. So the heal is pretty huge, it's pretty much 100% of her max HP, and the damage she deals is 20% max HP. This means it's fixed damage, so no matter the debuffs or buffs the enemy has, no matter your crit rate or your attack or anything like that, it will always be the exact same 20% of her max HP, of the target's max HP rather. And the wind one, so the first skill, same as well. The bomb attacks the enemy and applies bomb. Team summoner gains 1 mana if the attack critically hits. Her third skill is attacks the enemies within the area and explodes the bomb if the target has one and applies skill deceleration. And her ultimate attacks enemies within the area 3 times, and first and second hits apply bomb, and the last hit explodes the bomb if the target has one. Applies skill deceleration to the target affected area. Okay, so with all these 3 units and their skills in mind, I'm gonna start with the one I do not recommend, and that is the Water Oracle or Praha. So first of all, her second skill, it's a decent strip, however, for most cases you will already have a stripper, or if you do not, the fire one compared to the water one will be better, so I'll talk about that in a bit. As for the third skill, currently she sits at a 30-second cooldown or a 5 mana cost for this heal, and the heal is around 64.3% of max HP, as well as removing 1 harmful effect. I'm not gonna count sleep, and I'll tell you why in a bit. If we want to compare healers, like third skill heals, the next best comparison, in my opinion, would be Lulu. So her third skill has a 4 mana cost, so 1 lower, and has the ability to heal for almost 38% of the HP. If you factor in the lower mana cost, and if, for example, if you would make this a 5 cost, just to average it out, the heal would be somewhere closer to 50% max HP. Of course, both of them do remove a harmful effect as well. So because of this and because of the availability of both Lulu, and even if you do not have Lulu, there is always Konamiya, who has a even lower cooldown and lower mana cost heal on her third skill. In my opinion, it is not worth summoning a Nat 5 for it and wasted 200 of your scrolls for a unit that can be easily substituted by any other healer. As for the stripping abilities, as I said, if you are looking for a strip, the fire one will automatically be way better. So we're mostly looking at the third skill. Now the extra part where she sleeps both enemies and herself. The problem with sleep is that unlike stuns, the sleep can be removed if you attack the enemy several times. So as you can see, they wake up after getting 5 hits. Uh, this means that in your team comp, you are either sacrificing half of this ability and simply using it for the heal, or if you want to use a sleeping ability of the third part of the third skill, like the second part of the skill, this means that you must build your team focused on single target damage, which for most summoners that is not an option, unfortunately, because both Cleave and Kina do have a lot of AoE abilities. I believe Orbia has decent AoE abilities as well. So this means that first of all, your summoner is most likely gonna wake up enemies whenever she applies that sleep. Second of all, you must not use any AoE units on the battle, because whenever AoE units attack any other unit that's asleep, they'll automatically be waking up as well, and just leading to an overall misuse of the third skill that she has. And the same applies to the ultimate, of course. They do wake up a little slower since they do need 10 hits, but those 10 hits for some units that have like high attack speeds, or if you are just spamming abilities a lot, those units will wake up, and they will wake up pretty fast. So in my opinion, Praha is definitely a no-go in almost no options. Now for the other two, they have sort of different uses, so I'll give my thoughts on both of those. I'll start with Seara. So she is mainly a damage dealer. However, her damage dealing does require a lot of accuracy, and if you do not have any accuracy, she will be a super useless unit. However, if you do build her correctly with decent accuracy and decent crit rate, she does have potential to do a lot of single target damage. So first of all, you can do a combo of two second skills into a third skill to instantly explode 2 bombs on an enemy, and the bombs do pretty decent damage. So first of all, imagine 2 hits, that will be like close to 1,400,000. What? 1,400 attack multiplier just from the hit alone. On top of that, you are looking at close to 2,400 attack multiplier from the bombs, and that multiplier does have 60% death penetration, so that is huge damage in itself. And once you plant those 2 bombs, you instantly detonate them, doing additional bit of damage and instantly exploding those bombs. So there is potential to do a lot of single target damage really fast. However, it is solely dependent on accuracy, and if you do not land those debuffs, or for example you miss 1 bomb, in your combo, you essentially wasted 9 mana for a little bit of single target damage. So, in my opinion, she is a decent nuker. However, she is very risky in the terms that if the game just decides to roll you an unlucky accuracy roll, you pretty much wasted all of your potential for a single target nuke instantly, and you're left waiting with your mana regenerating for like the next 20 to 30 seconds. And yeah, it just kind of ruins any fallback that you can have from the combo, and you're solely placing your hope in that specific combo landing instantly. And now for the fire one, so Juno, in my opinion, she is the best oracle of the three in her usage and overall skills. However, she has very different purpose from Seara, so it would be hard to compare which one of them is better, rather than whether they are useful overall or not. So for Juno, as mentioned when reviewing Praha, if you are looking for a stripper, she is definitely way better than Praha just because of her other skills. But the strip itself only removes one beneficial effect, and it only has a 75% chance at max skill. That means on average you are looking at 2 debuffs being stripped. So first of all, it is not very reliable if you are going into very buff heavy opponents. Second of all, Juno will mostly only be a PvP unit, and she will only be used for cases where you are either looking to strip a few beneficial effects, or you are looking to remove a lot of harmful effects on your team. So just because of that, she instantly becomes sort of a very situational unit similar to Seara, where you are not able to bring her into any team regardless of who the opponent picks, and you have to sort of play around with other units you pick, as well as checking what units the enemy picks. This means that she does come as the last pick in most cases. Another problem with Juno is that she must be a soul-linked monster, so if you do have any other better soul-linked monsters that you use, unfortunately you will not be able to use them. She must be soul-linked just because of this, so to abuse that mana ability, or that rather passive where you gain mana, you will need to have her in a soul-linked slot to time those heals and beneficial effect strips nicely. Otherwise, if she is placed in any other regular monster slot, you will have a hard time timing her second and third skill to work whenever you need, and in turn you will not be able to abuse the passive that she has, meaning that she might heal up when you are either very close to full HP or do not have any debuffs at all. And the heal itself, if you do not have any harmful effects, is pretty weak in my opinion. It's only a 50% heal, and even with one harmful effect, the heal still falls way below Lulu's one. First of all, because Lulu will simply heal more, and her skill will cost 1 less. However, since Lulu does not have a strip, so Juno does become a little more useful in PvP. However, ultimately, if we were to summarize whether it is worth summoning oracles, in my opinion, it would be a no. And I would not recommend summoning them unless you have a specific team in mind that you wish to build with any one of these. So mostly referring to Seara or Juno. Praha is a no summon under any circumstances, in my opinion. Her skills simply do not provide enough for a net 5. And keep in mind, since she's a net 5, you will not be able to awaken her right away up to her full potential, and that means you will need to either summon a lot of dupes from her, and that requires you to place her in the blessing spot in your altar. That means you are losing on better skill ups for better units just to skill her up to her max potential. As for Seara, I'd say she's a situational unit if you are looking for that single target nuke. But even then, first of all, you can only bring her into teams where the enemy does not have any beneficial effects in most cases. That means you do have to couple her with a stripper or simply target a specific team that does not have buffs, and in most cases the enemy will have some sort of immunity or cleanse, so that already complicates her damage a lot. Second of all, you must rely on accuracy, so if you do miss a bomb, pretty much all of her potential is lost instantly, and you are left there waiting for 20 or 30 seconds for the enemy, hoping that the enemy does not finish you off in that time. So just because of that, she's an okay pick, but she's very situational and very risky. So if you like gambling with that single target nuke damage, she's a decent option. But if we were to choose, as I mentioned earlier, if they are worth summoning, it would be a no. And for the Juno, in my opinion, she's a decent support unit because she had both strip and heal. However, both of these abilities, in my opinion, are a little subpar since in most cases you will have better strippers on a different unit, and if you're looking for a heal, you will have better healers on a different unit as well. And her being a very situational pick also causes me to tell you to not summon, in my opinion, because you'll simply be having an easier time using different monsters that specialize in those areas. So if you are looking for a healer, there are way better healers that specialize in healing. And if you are looking for a stripper, there are definitely way better units that specialize in stripping buffs. And yeah, in my opinion, not worth summoning. However, if you do, Juno would be the first pick. Seara would be a close second. However, she's sort of leaning between a decent and definitely no. So yeah, there's a fine line there as she's very different. Praha is a no-go under any circumstance. So yeah, hope this sheds some light on my opinion on the oracles and whether they're worth summoning, and see you in the next one.